Hey, what's going on, Kanto University? Rogers Base here with another episode of UU Unmasked, the series where I look at UU Pokemon and I tell you guys how to use them in an OU environment. Now, today's Pokemon is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. I love its design, I love its typing, and I, of course, am talking about Galvantula. Now, Galvantula is interesting because Galvantula, even though he is not an OU Pokemon, is used very frequently in OU with a very common moveset. So this moveset that people usually run with Galvantula is Thunder, Bug Buzz, Hidden Power Ice, and Sticky Web with the Focus Sash item. And while this is a fine set, it's totally fine, the thing is, everyone expects it now, and they usually will end up going for a taunt on the first turn when you set up Sticky Web. So we are actually going to talk about a Galvantula set that one-ups and counters the characters that are going to use taunt against you. So for starters, we're going to use a Galvantula with the Choice Specs item. This is going to be a Choice Specs set Galvantula. Now for those of you guys who don't know what Choice Specs is, it is an item, much like Choice Scarf, in which you can only use one move, but your special attack is multiplied by 1.5. So it's great on a good special attacking Pokemon like Galvantula. The boost from Choice Specs allows Galvantula to 2-hit KO a large amount of checks and counters, things like Gastrodon and Mega Tyranitar, and makes it almost impossible for them to switch in on him. Additionally, you're going to want to utilize Galvantula's Compound Eyes ability. It's an ability in which your accuracy is boosted by 1.3, and it turns Thunder into a very viable move. As for a nature, you're going to want to give him a timid nature so he can outspeed other Galvantula, and for an EV spread, I recommend 252 in special attack, 252 in speed, and 4 in HP. A very easy spread to remember. Moving on to Galvantula's moveset, I'm going to recommend the moves Thunder, Bug Buzz, Energy Ball, and Volt Switch. Now a lot of you guys are probably like, what Energy Ball instead of Hidden Power Ice? Why? Because you can guarantee a one-hit KO on Quagsire, Gastrodon, and Swampert. Now this does leave Galvantula vulnerable to dragons and flying types like Landorus and Thundurus, but really, there's a lot of other counters to those Pokemon, and you could find ways to get around that. Whereas Quagsire, Gastrodon, and Swampert could really wall your Galvantula otherwise. Now to give you an example of this Pokemon's power, if you equip Galvantula, a timid Galvantula, with the EVs that I just recommended you with Choice Specs, his special attack will skyrocket to 439, and that surpasses Mega Manectrix by 34 points, by 8.4%. Now as for a Pokemon to pair with Galvantula, I'm going to recommend using a Greninja, and no, I am not just saying that because Smash Bros. Comes out in Japan this week. I'm recommending it because Greninja has a really diverse move pool, and you can really switch it around depending on whatever your Galvantula finds, to be a threat. So a lot of the time, like I mentioned, Thundurus and Landorus are a huge threat to Galvantula. A Protean Greninja with Ice Beam will take care of those threats, no problem. And that about wraps it up for this episode of UU Unmasked. Galvantula is a very fast, very powerful special attacker that you could throw onto pretty much any team so long as you have the right teammates, and I look forward to seeing a lot of you guys utilize him in the OU environment. As always, make sure to like and subscribe to Kanto University and drop in the comments below what you think of this set and what you think are good alternate Galvantula sets. And if you want to see some of these UU Pokemon in action, you can go subscribe to my channel as well, which is linked in the description below. As always, guys, go out there and be great, and I'll be back with another episode of UU Unmasked next week. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!